Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mountain Dew League. It is me, Tom, joined by Scrondog, and we're going to be going into another day of the Mountain Dew League. We have got Virtus Pro facing off against Team Spirit to start. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom. 2 days of commentary with you back to back. What did I do to deserve such greatness? I'll know. But I'm taking this moment to appreciate what looks like, what is this, new VP logo? Look at these players' pictures. What's that all about?
They do change it quite often. I miss the polar bear.
Listen, as long as it's not purple and green, I've got nothing bad to say here, Bismarck. So this is an interesting game because we have Team Spirit taking on VP clearly, and it's happening on Overpass. This is a map that Team Spirit just dumpstered fours on not long ago. 16-0. So it makes us think, of course, Team Spirit should be packing here. But it's Virtus Pro. What does that mean? No one really knows anymore. So it's going to be a spectacle, to say the least.
Yeah, expect it to be a good game. I've seen a little bit of VP so far, and I've been impressed with what I've seen from Veggie, at least. I think a good addition to this roster. And I think as well, something that was needed in Virtus Pro for quite a while, the want or the need at least to win. I think that you had so many players who didn't necessarily have the drive. They were on very good contracts. They could sort of almost chill a little bit, and I think that they just needed some young blood with that, well, want to win. And it's going to look like a push in towards the beast. There's still plenty of time left as the smoke's going.
Yeah, Spirit were very content to just sit back and relax, and maybe this is why Coldy 3 headshots, but Mihu and Snacks swing it back with the exact same thing. Disbalance in from behind. And SDY pushes towards Graffiti, but doesn't extend outwards. Looks like VP could go for the counter heaven boost. With 40 seconds left, their options are open. And they pull it off silently. Nobody missed jumps, but the bomb doesn't go, Tom. So this heaven player should be able to double back and clear the behind of Graffiti, but SDY pushes? Dude, the timing's wild. He's still going to fall in the end here. Mihu has eyes, and the bomb plant should go down unless they sprint to A. Disbalance has to give chase.
Yeah, good call. Knowing that, well, the other player would have either rotated through by now, so they're going to go for quite an open plant, maybe expecting still to be coming back through the connector, but it is going to be the rotation in from I Disbalance from behind. However, no kit. I think he's... Oh, is there a kit down somewhere? I think he's looking for it, but clearly not finding it, so just burn down another 5 seconds off the clock anyway, and well, Snacks is perfectly placed in the back to finish him off. 1-0 to Virtus Pro, and how? Like that was a 2v5.
Yeah, it was. It was a wild 2v5. Seeing as Coldy starts it off with those 3 kills, he was just playing on the pillar of the B site, let the players come in from short. You know, he wasn't activated by any flashbang or something that might give warning to the gunfight. No, he just sat, tapped, and got himself VP. Swing it back just as quickly. Good thing Mihu's there for the 2 kills. And good thing they have the presence of mind to clear Graffiti from behind. I like that. Little wall spam coming out of the tees early from Monster. It's an aggressive play into short, and it's a pinch. SDY comes out from the squeaky door, makes the best of this clamp down on the tees. 4v3. And still a couple SMGs in the mix for Spirit's force buy.
Yeah, this is the problem. I think it's the problem with playing against CISTs and teams in general is just the level of aggression they're going to try and pull off in some of these rounds. I still remember like how good the old Vega Squadron lineup was on this very map, and actually Chopper was a fairly big part of that. So I'm actually quite excited to see how he'll work within what I would consider now a better team. Like the old Vega Squadron where you had like Mir and JR and all of them still in the roster. I like that team, but it fell apart, and I think it was time for him to move on. And the team he's in now, Sum Young, fantastic player. I Disbalance, he's fantastic. Almost seems like he's cheating at times, but we'll wait and see. And for now, we're going to have the T's actually going in towards this corner. Mihu caught out. This time there'll be no double for him. And Snacks still trying to wrap around, but they've got help. Nice shot from Snatch. He won't get away with the second, and it will be Snacks just left in this clutch. Now, bear in mind, I Disbalance doesn't have any armor. Coming in on the flank may just be able to finish him. Oh, I swear that was a dink, but it did no damage.
Bizarre, my friend. A bizarre round that happens on that B site. I mean, Mac 10 inside of the short water, that's one of the bigger problems. A MAC-10 obviously picked up by that first clash on short. So really good synchronization between Spirit on the pinch, the push from the barrels, and then also the door swing. Like it just all comes off to a T. And to return back to what you said about like this version of Spirit with the addition of Chopper, Tom, I like to draw the comparison between Team Spirit and Vega Squadron as the same one between Valiance and Co. and Team Imperial, where you had these two promising tier 2 teams. Vega used to be the better of the two, but Team Spirit, take into consideration their last showing at the Katowice Miners, I mean, they had promise. And then after, I think it was Star Series Shanghai, we had, you know, a change up. They felt as though they had met the cap of that roster's potential. They bring in Chopper, who I think extends the ceiling and can really have them shift into a 6th gear. It's not a final project yet. We haven't seen them in big tournaments. We haven't seen them where Team Spirit had already gotten to themselves before his addition. But if we're going to have to Frankenstein the Vega Squadron lineup, then I'm happy to see Chopper fall here. Regardless, that second round force buy puts them in such a prime position to just deflate Virtus Pro here at the start of the T side. They've got themselves that single scout, 3 deeps in the mix, and it's Disbalance nabbing himself a second kill before he drops in mid. SDY looks to take his place. Another promising young gun here for Spirit, but wall spam doesn't connect just yet. Now he's being chased. Doesn't work out for Snacks. No, but it will for Mihu. Deagles him down. 3v2, and Coldie's heard from the back. Snatchy gets popped, and the spray down's good.
Yeah, some very close battles within that round that really could have swung it into VP's favor. Unfortunately, they're not going to continue this back and forth, and well, monetary-wise now, they're left in a bit of a hole. They've got to just save for the next round and basically give the CT side a chance to build up the cash. The problem is, well, you win the force buy, you're the one that gets all the extra money from the team that drops you guns. So although initially it was VP winning the pistol, all the guns they retrieved ended up in the hands of their opponents, which is pretty much the best way you can get money in this game.
We all love money. Oh boy, Chopper, that door. If only it was blown open, he would have had 4 backs turned and an MP9 to rack up the cash, but he charges headstrong to the top of connector, gets the job done. Disbalance done a good job of just spraying them with the M4. You know, it's not the most money they could have made, but all things considered, excellent conversion point from Spirit. Just chucks the Glocks to the wayside, and now we'll have VP coming in with their first real gun buy.
Going to negate the AWP, at least early on, but Disbalance will have his, which really does upgrade this buy quite significantly. That's the one sort of benefit of him being the one going down. He's going to take that peek into mid, almost caught out by Mihu, who wants to go hunting, but won't do it without a flash. Some Dayung in the meantime, waiting in towards this connector. Now they've doubled up here on the CT side, looking to try and really challenge into middle. Sotfig, nice little off angle. Boosted onto the shelf. And Disbalance is actually going to catch another one as they look to fade past.
Not the first time he's used this angle. Go back 2 rounds to the anti-eco, and he's stuck his head in the washrooms too. Plucking players off of party. Pushing them back. That's exactly what's happened. In fact, with Chopper getting aggressive here in short, it's another easy kill added to the tally. And poor Virtus Pro just getting worked apart. Now, this is a player that I am not familiar with. I have not had the privilege of keeping my eyes on Virtus Pro as they've been down here in the lower leagues. But Okolicious, it's a mouthful. Can he be a handful in a 1v4? Starts it off with a headshot over towards this A site. He can double back for bomb. And if he maintains control of short, if Chopper walks up from connector, then there's a very real chance at this. But, oh, nice crosshair flick shot up. If only it didn't cost him 90 HP. Although SDY has 10 health of his own. However, he's put himself in a position to win the round. Here's the footsteps and gets it done. Spirit closed the 4v1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 3 of the 4 kills, or 3 of the 5, sorry, kills coming in for Team Spirit in that round were off angles. Like, you had the first peak holding from the connector on the shelves. Then you had Chopper also holding down into water, where he's just on the right-hand side after they're already in a big advantage. And then you had that last kill as well. It's just horrible for Virtus Pro when you're in situations like that, where you kind of expect at some point for the aggression of your opponent to end. And I think that's something that, again, like CIS teams just don't really do. If they have map control, they're going to try and use it against you. Whereas most of the time, 2v4, you're probably just going to fall back and play a little safe.
Pop flash out through monsters. Snatchy, almost good for a second kill, but the barrels gives cover. And the flashbang support comes sailing in from the A site. The barrels player's completely smoked off, so he comes in for seconds. And it's the grenade to finalize the round. I mean, a pistol round that works out not that bad. 2 kills and nearly a third there for VP. If they had managed to clear out barrels quickly, then a bomb plant comes off of it. I mean, there was a working in that one at least. But it's all meant as a transition, Tom. We want to get back into the guns, back into the op. And that's where we find Snatchy here in round 7.
Yeah, this is what you want to see if you're a Virtus Pro fan, is this man picking up the AWP. He is a bit of a beast with it. We will see whether or not he can help find the opening. Look at the aggression! What is this from Spirit? Just running straight through Monster. No fear in the world. Me, who at least manages to get one. But he's still going to be traded out. At the same time, you normally talk about this benefiting this T side. But to be honest, I think Spirit play every half as the T side.
Even now in a 4v4, Sotvic seems confident enough to get his eyes up onto connector door. And at a certain moment, this is going to activate disbalance rotation, or they leave the op to solo hold B and try to get the AUG up into the A site. But a smoke grenade at the very depths of long A. This denies vision. It does create a weird situation where Virtus Pro either have to wait out their own or decide to push through this. But with 50 seconds, they are going to get the elicitation in the grenades. The Molotov and smoke come out, and the boost too! Oh, Chopper! He just guns down 3. Nearly that 4th one. SDY finishes the job. I love it, Tom. They play so proactive.
That was such a sick boost. And it's one of those audacious plays where once you get the first, a lot of people would just go, right, that's me done. I got the information. I got the kill. Chopper's just like, I want 4. He had 3 bullets left in the clip when he went for that final kill. It just was like, oh, worth a try, right? Does it just go in pure clip mode? But
it's a smoke grenade again. It gets the grenades out of them. And I thought to myself, like, that's what Spirit will do in terms of a response. But to add the boost, it's like they're not shying away from making plays. There's fresh ideas constantly all across the map. But this time they're pushed back quickly. T's already taking mid control with the 5 AKs quick.
Yeah, still playing close around this area. Rotation has come in from Sotvic as well, just to have the jump spot over towards long. A little bit of utility being expended on the other side of the map, but isn't really going to play too much of a part. Coldy, however, does now go down. So that extra man is going to have to play a bit of a part here. Some Young spraying through, but can't get anything done. And the rotation of the AWP looks to get back into the side, but it's a little bit late. The T's have already found 2 openers, and Some Young's the only one left anywhere near. Okalicious going to put him down as well. And while I disbalance late to the party, has to try and do some damage with this AWP, or just escape, which even that may be difficult.
Yeah, there's already another opper down here towards B, so we'll have to see if that one gun does move forward. Just hear somebody? Sorry, Disbalance does some things sometimes that confuse me, but he hones in on audio. He's one of those players that looks towards audio to figure out what's up. I digress. Virtus Pro, they catch their first kill in mid with Coldy trying to work around smoke. He had that AWP, looked to maybe, skewer a couple of players on their setup. Something very similar to what we saw with that boost on A site in the round previous. You had 3 Ts caught with grenades in hand. That's what he was hoping to find. Instead, he found these Ts of Virtus Pro boosting themselves outside of bathrooms in order to get that first kill. And we talked about the pace of which the Ts took all of that map control. They were so ready to execute onto the bomb site the moment they got that first kill. And Okalicious was the reason. He's at the depths of long A, and you saw those quick 2 entries, headshots, over towards Optimus Prime. And a rebuy, of course, with the op included. So now Virtus Pro, they forego the 5 AKs, get back into the sniper, and instead of heading out towards A, they're going to get short control, but it comes at a cost, Tom. Early damage already.
I like that. Sotvic just knows his angle. He's just spamming through it. Just 1 bullet at a time to make sure that if anybody runs through, he is going to hit the shots. And already whittling away the offense of Virtus.pro. Nade even gonna land in. Veggie is just cursed at this point. May even not get to see it. Anyway, he's gonna burn alive, and now they boost as well. They're not content with the initial opener. Chopper being put up into positions once again, and wow, already a 5 versus 3. Virtus.pro haven't even seen anyone yet.
It's weird for me to, you know, as in a moment like this where I'm shifting between all 5 of the CTs, I'm trying to look for somebody who's not doing something. And that's what Spirit have been up to. It's just proactive. Some kind of a peek, some kind of a grenade play, information gathering, wall bangs even. Just tags Mihu right through the banana wall. Then he picks off Snacks. He's gonna kill Mihu right here with the wall bang. Watch. Come on, Disbalance. It would be a beauty, but they have enough bodies to send someone forward. Go clear out the corners if needed. Mihu is able to pop a single head. And Disbalance waits in the last 10 seconds. Another shot just careens right by. He's gonna land this.
I'll be disappointed if he doesn't now. I'll be honest. He's so close.
Come
He's
on.
so ridiculously close.
Gonna let it by.
Well, either way, just again another fantastic round coming out from Spirit, and it's one of those things where it's tough for Virtus.pro just in a sense of they don't play normal Counter-Strike a lot of the time. Like, okay, sure, a lot of teams will go aggressive, but not every round. Like every single round, there's somebody pushing somewhere, taking control. They've already cleared a lot of the toilets in this round, going towards long, and it's not the same thing every time either. Like in the last round, they had a lot of spam. They were boosting players up on B. Now they're trying to make a little bit more of aggression towards short and just jump spotting, being a little bit safer. Instead, the play's over towards long with Disbalance on the AWP. Then he has the support play out as well, and Sundaeyoung gets it done. And the thing is that the reason this is so hard to be this successful on the CT side is most of the time you don't have every single player just hitting their shots at the right time. But at the moment they seem to. Snacks, though, manages to get into the site. Luckily, Disbalance is going to rectify things quite quickly, and Snatch you with 2 HP may just want to hold on to his AWP. The problem is it's a long save.
You see, this is one of those rounds where I think it's fair to draw the comparison between Overpass and Cash. And that's not a comparison I'd make very often. Very different maps. I mean, at a core, super different. But this is a prime example of when you have vision of certain players, certain numbers of players on long A. Look how Snacks is able to just activate himself and get through the bathrooms. Like, he never lets off the W key, but he also never makes sound. And it's all about that timing. They lose long, sure enough, but he takes the mid lane. And by getting into the bomb site, by catching Sophic on the rotation, he almost clears out those 2 long players on their fallback. Imagine if he single-handedly clears out A, the rest of his team can go pick up bomb, and the round's on. VP looking to actually, you know, close this gap. Not the case, however. He doesn't get that third one. Magazine goes dry. He tries to tippity-tap towards the end, and it just doesn't work. So it is Spirit with yet another round, but at least a slight exploit there that comes by way of ebb and flow. When you lose something, you push something. That's how Overpass plays.
Yeah, and I think that will be the big thing we're watching with Virtus.pro at the moment is how are they actually going to adapt. By the looks of it, they're going to go for a T-side double AWP setup, which in most cases, I would 100% disagree with. But with the way that Team Spirit have been playing, with the level of aggression and pushing so many angles, I actually don't mind it.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I told you yesterday, Tom. It's not all the time I'll agree, but I'll give you this one too. Add it to the tally.
It would be funny if this was the one round where we didn't see any aggression from Spirit. That would
it's
make me
tempered
laugh.
aggression, right? Like we've had crazy pushes up onto certain plays, and then we've also had little, you know, you could maybe not define it as aggression, but still active play, jumping over walls, trying to spot. Looks like we're gonna get another boost though. Keep your eyes on Veggie or Chopper just destroys him. I'm sorry that I mentioned his name. Sorry, eh? 2 ops still up for Virtus Pro. Looking to find that pick, looking to cut back those numbers, but first man down for the count, and now Snatchy almost finds timing versus Chopper. One of 3 players towards this B site. Snatchy hears the footsteps of the player clearing over wall, but he's patient enough to anticipate Coldie. Here's SDY coming back from long A to catch that solo anchor and Snacks. The lurk that almost won the last round, but Chopper's off position. And Chopper's off the ramp with bomb at his feet and 20 seconds to the clock. He knows this round is done.
He's so good. Like, seriously, that was disgusting. Like, just sat up on the railings. It's a spot that you see utilized quite a bit now, like, because it's quite hard to spot them, but at the same time, to just be as clinical as he was in that situation, plus the kill that he got originally onto Veggie. I was watching that from Snatchy's point of view, and his Veggie jumps up. His body then falls back down. It was like a second within. So, again, a saved AWP. Something brought back into the next round, but this time Virtus Pro do have to take a hit in terms of what they'll invest and just go for some pistols. I'd actually quite like to see just an aggressive push into one of the sites. I just try picking up the pace a little bit, because at the moment I feel like they're giving too much opportunity for Spirit to fight like individually, and that's what you want. Like, that's what they want, at least.
100%. And you're going to keep getting these individual fights from the CTs. Like, at no point are Team Spirit shying away from going for gun duels. And in a round like this, where you know there's a solo op, or at least an op in the mix, you can understand a little hesitation. You don't want to be plucked off a bomb site. You don't want to get caught in a position where your gun can be retrieved. But that's not the case. Team Spirit, they're going to turtle shell up. They go for a little boost over the wall to clear short. No T's seen, so they're going to get wind of this A hit. More than likely start rotating players up to join Sumdai Young. But the big question will be, how far do Virtus Pro get before they're spotted, or before the CTs are managing to take down some of these pistols? Because it's still the op on the front line. And now they've been spotted just outside of the bathrooms. They're going to activate and get a little closer, but look at Spirit move up.
Yeah, rotation in, and they have connector control. If anybody wants to try and double back, they really just need to try and overwhelm these players. But actually, someone abandonment. They left some Young just out to dry. Bomb's going to be planted, but the positions of these members in the connector has allowed for a fast rotation in. Mihu, however, has retrieved the gun. Snack's trying to hold, but he will fall, and they know that they have to try and get aggressive and get Sotfik out of this spot. However, not going particularly well. Mihu, 29 HP, an AWP, and the bomb now planted in the wrong place. I think he's just going to try and save.
Yeah, this is going to go ahead and get stuck. So Team Spirit to take their 10th round. The off-ball is Sotfik going hard. Gets everybody taken out. Double op saved forward for Team Spirit. And I mean, that's a good example, Tom, of when you give up a lot of real estate on the A site, when you give up literally the bomb site. You saw how SDY was left to his own device. What has to happen is that successful flank. But go back to the beginning of last round. We had those early boosts over the wall. We had that early information gain, and they saw that there was nobody from VP trying to control B. And because of that, easy flank, easy rotation, and then that nail in the coffin on the A site. Even despite Virtus Pro getting their opening, creating that space with 4 pistols, majority sidearms, and they were almost still able to take away the round. But early kill here towards the B site. We get an exchange, no additional weapon thrown over to join the AKs of Virtus Pro. That op of disbalance still floating at the A site, and everybody else coming down. Team Spirit, they're wary of a B hit for good reason, but Chopper peeks out and dies to Veggie.
Yeah, they finally managed to quell his peeking on that side of the map, and that could make for an opener over towards B, but they're actually going to go back in the other direction. I like this from Disbalance. He may be completely negated, though, as they do look to try and head towards long. The rotation will come in from Sumdai, so at least somebody will be on the site. The thing is, this position onto short, if nobody actually goes in this direction around the banana, could be a problem, but he's got the information at least now. Still a little bit worried that there could be someone in connector, however.
Yeah, but his attention's going to get called, so he uses the smoke to cover his back in the off chance there is someone in connector. But that connector player, which should be Snacks theoretically, is down on the B site. He's trying to draw the seat inwards towards him, and that's exactly what's going to happen for Sotfik. Very wary as to where he should get off to. 20 seconds left, and they're about to push onto the A site for this plant. Snacks coming up from the beneath of heaven, and Disbalance has to figure out where he wants to commit to. He has chosen the right site, and he gets himself the first kill. Now, bombs drop 6 seconds. Ocalicious can't get it, and oh, what a fumble, what a fail. Virtus Pro giving up the 11th round to Team Spirit. Disbalance had one job, one shot, one chance, and it all aligns for him to rob VP as they patiently waited off long.
Yeah, they kind of did everything right, at least in terms of the calls. Like, Snacks baited in a rotation. They just needed maybe a smoke to go down for the cross and to work out where that final player was. Because that was sort of what I said with the aggression coming out of Disbalance. It could work in his favor, and it definitely did. Goes again for the aggressive peek. And actually, Coldie's picked up a secondary AWP over onto the B site. Unable to really get too much aggression off, but it may just be once the smoke fades, he'll try and take a bit of a peek in towards the monster spot. The thing is, though, at the moment, it's pretty much just a standard default once again, coming out from VP with a rotation towards B site coming in a little bit late.
For a second, I thought maybe we were going to get the 4-man totem pole on the T-spawn, but Snacks, oh, hello. He has crept up from long, alone, entirely alone. I mean, his teammates couldn't be further removed. Talk about making Snacks do it all. And he's going to charge his way into the bank, fall to Sotfic. Coldie smoking off short with this op on B. Last line of defense, spotting the heads as they round the ramp. But he misses his first shot, and this is a chance for Spirit to rotate back down. They've lost numbers, and they're getting instrumentally closer, but Coldie, with the gut punch, he's going to deny Mihu as bomb goes down.
Veggie taking a position that's going to make things very difficult in this retake. They'd almost have to hard clear it to get anywhere near. And the problem is, because they haven't spotted anyone there, they're not going to expect it. So this will be a free kill for him. And no trades will come across. Finally, a little bit of impact from Veggie. He's been very quiet so far in this game. In fact, he just doubled his kills in one round. And that will be the 3rd round that VP actually take.
From 2 to 4, and from 2 to 3. Kill count to round count. Virtus Pro trying to close with this final of the 15, but it's going to be a decent buy for them. Double up. I wonder what happens, of course, in that last round if Snacks isn't able to just walk off of long A, get the kill on the back of bathrooms, and then almost go one further. He's going to set up shop early here in this round as well. AWP to the bottom of connector, gets that first pick. It's a 5v4 established at the very beginning of the round.
Yeah, and this has definitely been the difference in the last few rounds, is they have been finding opening picks. So finding Chopper when he peaked Monster not too long ago. This time with some aggression coming out from Disbalance. Interesting he doesn't give like a UMP or anything over to Sotfic, considering this is our last round of the half and he has $1,600 left in the bank. But hey ho, clearly Sotfic just happy with his 5-7, or they weren't paying attention. One of the two. Some Dayung. Oh, here's the jump. He's got all the information off the back of this, but the peek comes out from Veggie, and now he's going to get slaughtered because of it. Slight misplay in the end. Too many players to aim at, and now Sotfic's got to try and get aggressive. You know that there was just a chance that he clicks the shoot button there and gets himself a headshot. Instead, it's onto Chopper. He'll go down. Sotfic goes down, and it's left onto just one man from behind. Not going to happen. VP, they get the last couple of rounds. It is almost a certainty at this point with teams getting such a big lead for them to let it slip at the end.
Yeah, and they work those last 2 rounds very well, I'd say. You know, it's very much falling onto the shoulders of Snacks in both instances, whether that be him walking out long A or in the last round getting that opening op pick. And I'm also going to put a little asterisk next to SDY's situation on short there, because he has that player jumping on the other side of the smoke dead to rights. But Veggie, whether he realized it or not, saves the day by just running out of connector full speed at that moment. Not like he had a gun ready for the fight, Tom. No, he was just coming to join his teammates, and he offsets the crosshair of SDY, who tries to retreat, thinking there's too many numbers. Poor guy gets spammed through smoke, and well, the rest is history. The rest is Virtus Pro's 4th round. They just clear it all the way to A. Best the 5-7 and get the job done. And that's when the economy starts to come into play, right? That 1-5-7, you saw the chance at a headshot it had. Imagine if economic problems were an issue prior to the 15th round. That's the first time we saw Team Spirit having to deal with money problems in the 15th round. So, second pistol about to begin, and Team Spirit looking for an early close as our first game of ESEA today looks to begin.
Yeah, they didn't manage to take themselves the last one, but they did win the second. So even after the danger is initially gone, Team Spirit can definitely work those pistols when needed. Fair bit of utility actually picked up on the back of Chopper and Sotfik as well, as they look to try and take some long control. Definitely going towards A can be more difficult if you don't have the utility available to smoke off some of these angles. But there's still the chance that they just wrap back around, especially with the bomb. This is looking a bit like the Hugo Byron special, Connor.
What's that? When you just close your eyes and hope something happens?
No, you remember, just win. No, that's it. That's what you have to do.
Yeah,
just win.
The best advice. Uh-oh. This could be problematic. Team Spirit getting very close to that A site, and Virtus.pro looking super uncomfortable. Look at the way they're shifting around the map. You know, they're uncertain of their positions, and there's no reason. They hadn't seen utility at the B site. They just didn't know what's up. But it's confirmed A. With smokes and grenades aplenty, excellent flash assists. One for Sotfik and one for Chopper. So that backline from Team Spirit throwing the utility in, it works so well with this wall of smokes. That's an easy 5v3 established, and Virtus.pro going to try to make this retake off the back of Okalicious.
Yep, they managed to win a 2 versus 5 in the first pistol. They've got one extra player this time. They've already turned it into a 3 versus 3. Sundar Young looking to chime in, and this time he's there in an attempt to put it to bed. Now, bear in mind, Snack still has a kit and a smoke.
Yes.
And he's already going to pick off one. Smokes onto the bomb. Actually just going to stick it. And there's only one man shooting at him, Sotfik. Unable to connect. And it's going to happen again, Connor. They just can't close out these pistol rounds every time, or both times, Team Spirit have had an advantage. And both times they've thrown it away.
Poor Sotfik. What a heartbreaker. I mean, he's just meant to be the closer. All he has to do is hit the headshot. And what an insult it is to, after spamming the same spot, you know what, 8 bullets, he moves his crosshair what seems like less than a centimeter, Tom, and he gets him after the defuse comes through. But I mean, Snacks, how much does he have to do? At the top of the scoreboard currently for Virtus.pro, 12 and 13. Single-handedly opening up rounds on the T side and single-handedly clutching them when the pistol round matters most. So VP to kick themselves to 5, but I remember a forest buy in the second round of the first half that didn't quite go Virtus.pro's way.
Yeah, this time not a full investment, as the T's can get themselves a buy into the next round, but they do have some deagles. Almost getting a first kill as Veggie very low. Will already lose his SMG. Not really that big a deal, just because of the fact there's no armor on the other side, so they are going to get shredded, and pretty much every other weapon, other than maybe the UMP, would have been worse. Even still, though, only 2 rifles, and the Scout almost on even playing field with the Deegs at this point. Whoever hits the connecting shot, likely to win the duel. With 40 seconds left, the defense still very split, so they managed to overwhelm Snatchy. They've got an opportunity here, and he keeps missing shots. Finally will connect one, but it doesn't land a finishing blow. He does have the support of Okalicious, though, but already he's the last one left on the site, and Sundar Young hits the shot. This should be a good opportunity to get that bomb down. Mihu is well placed and actually going to risk it pushing onto the site. He knows roughly where both players are, but gets overwhelmed and left into the 1 versus 1. It Snacks again to try and save them. Look at Chopper. He's going on the wraparound, trying to get himself into a better position. Snacks looking like he tried to bait the bomb out a little bit there, but Chopper couldn't have heard it even if he wanted to. And with no kit, there's a good chance he even hits the shot. But unfortunately, Snacks will hit it too.
Yep, great effort there towards the end for the clutch. I mean, again, we're talking just pistols. I tried to paint the picture of last half's round 2, but this was so far less for Team C, or excuse me, so much less in terms of their buy-up. You said it, no utility. I mean, the Molotov they picked up on mid from killing the player with the MP9, that was a nice addition. They were able to throw it over the top of the A site, burn out the truck, and I wondered to myself if maybe that's why Okalicious has this weird position standing on top of Dumpster. It's unorthodox. He's got the M4. He cuts off the first player from washrooms, but the problem with where he was is he's so exposed to long A, short mid, and the bathroom door that he gets peak by all three at the very same time. So no surprise that the A site did crumble. But it's all on Snacks. Again, excellent clutch. Taps bomb, clears long, anticipates the mid peak, even gets hit by the scout. Had that been a headshot, then it's Team Spirit on 12. But VP, a little bit more in the tank. And speaking of full tanks, Team Spirit, this is their buy. With the op on I disbalance, he's going to try to pick on mid. He has support around him as we also get this connector control and short B under the back pocket of Team Spirit.
Yeah, imagine this, a third round buy with an AWP and your opponent's money right down the toilet. They even have some cash to spare on the remaining players if things go wrong going into the next round. So this really could almost be the final nail in the coffin for Virtus Pro if they don't manage to make this one work. So they'll already be down so much. Snatchy, yet to be able to afford his AWP, but will be sat with Veggie over on this A site. Snacks, meanwhile, in the heavens as the smokes fall, but it's all just an elaborate ruse to try and bait them further into this B site. The push is going to be coming back around the other way. Snatchy's been overwhelmed straight away, and now Veggie with everything left to do. They actually line up, but he can't see a thing. Great execute coming out from Spirit, and I don't think there's much of a choice but to save here for VP.
Utility usage is really good from Spirit. I mean, look, we didn't really have much of a chance to talk about it before we came into this, but Team Spirit, they're just a great Overpass team. They always have been, and I don't think that you know, including some of the Vega Squadron players is going to stop that. This is their home. This is where I like to watch them. We've seen good executes and good strategy on all of the rounds. Like, they are making the most of every round, whether that be the ecos, whether that be, you know, gun rounds. They're the more proactive of the two. They have ideas constantly spewing out of them, and now rounds as well. 12-6, gonna double up versus Virtus Pro. Not the first time we've seen this A site targeted on their T side already. The last round with just the pistols, almost got it done. This round with guns, 5 alive. I mean, talk about convincing. So Virtus Pro are gonna have to force up with the little they have left over, try to reimburse and rebound with another buy up. But Snatchy, oh Snatchy, he's just earned a special spot in my heart, Tom, because he's got himself the Nova.
Yeah, couldn't quite afford an XM, so I can understand the choice. Let's see whether or not anything actually comes of it. If it comes down to a retake, he is basically screwed. But in the connector, at least, it is still a fairly viable gun. Has some support as well from his teammate, who's going to be boosted over the top and just spotting to see if anybody will push through water. At least.
Call me shallow, Tom, but I never trust people who buy shotguns and don't have skins for them. Because to me, it's like
I know what you mean.
Because he thinks, like, he's seen other people do it. But the people who always pull this off have cool shotgun skins. Look, it's not top tier analysis, but I think I'm onto something.
Oh.
Or I have no clue what's happening because he's just got himself the pellets to the head and an upgrade to the AK. So
he tricked you. That's what it was.
I said nothing.
You were triggered, although that play might be a little bit over the top. Someday I'm just waiting back. They weren't expecting anybody to be there, and they have managed to turn it back, at least into a 4 versus 3, although he does still take some damage. It's going to be the rotation back to the spawn. This is so risky from Okalicious. He only has a UMP. That's much better. Just smokes them off, waits behind it. They almost might have to just save here, the T side. Like, their money is not in the worst of states anyway, but why just throw all these guns away? Why give them over to VP when they know their money's not in the best state themselves? Just play it patient, sit back, and keep your guns. You still got a 5-round lead.
Yep. Let's just, let me put it this way. At the end of this game, no one will remember this round. And that's perfectly fine. It's just one of the, you know, one of the fluffs. We add it to the tally, VP moving up to 7, and let's reset with the gun rounds. Let's try to get the exact same situation. You know, I don't want half buys, Tom. I don't like that suboptimal CS. I want the best of the best. I want AUGs and ops, guns and grenades, baby.
The only time I like it is when shotguns come into play.
That's fair. Little snatchy buckshot, huh? The bottom of connector. That's what kind of, funny enough, that's what kind of wins the whole round. He gets the AK and dies in the end, but he started it and set it all up.
Look how aggressive Young's going. Straight onto short, smokes the Molotov, just wants to take that water control, doesn't want to allow it to go in the other direction for free. Connector being challenged once again. You have to be kind of careful with your aggression when you're on the CT side, especially doing the same thing twice. Can become a little bit predictable. Disbalance is waiting, and he catches both players as they look to escape. And well, now Veggie just sort of walks back like, oh, yep, I'm gonna get out of there.
I like that. That's team spirit. That's them identifying a threat, identifying a problem, and having an active game plan only one round later to deal with it. The shotgun inside of Connector, that aggressive setup from VP is why they won the last round. This time they used the double grenades from the bottom of Connector to soften them up, to tell Virtus.pro, look, we know you're in there, and we have a strategy to flush you out. Virtus.pro leave on their own accord, on their own decision, and they walk into a boosted Opper of Disbalance. So Team Spirit with the multiple layers on that mid to A setup, and look what it gets them. A 5v3, an open B bomb site, and an easy 13th round.
Well, yeah, one of those positions where I can't really take anything away from Virtus.pro's decision. Just hold on to your guns. You can't afford to do anything else. They'll have a buy in the next round at least. 3 dropping for 2 is always fine. But even still, it puts them right back on the burner. That was their opportunity to break back, put some pressure on Team Spirit, and, well, all pressure is alleviated.
That's such a sign of a team who's well-versed on any particular map. Like, we're not coming off of a tactical pause to identify that problem. There was no delay in Spirit out of the spawn as well. Everybody knew exactly what they had to do in that round. So it's been hammered. And it worked out perfectly. Disbalance, I mean, even the positioning of the boost, like, it's so minute that he has such a slight angle. Just very well prepared Team Spirit, and that's what everybody at home watching needs to take away from this. I mean, Virtus.pro, they've been looking more promising lately than as of late, you could say. And now, unfortunately, they're going to be eating a tough loss on Overpass if things don't change. But it's not as though they're completely out of the running here. This is just Spirit on their home turf.
Well, Virtus.pro's response is to try and get a little bit aggressive, at least on the A side of the map. They're waiting patiently on B, and, well, they're going to have the T side all flooding in and able to do a little bit of damage with the grenades, but the smoke's just leaving them sectioned out. Snacks, however, looks to step up again. He finds the first, does a lot of damage onto a second, but the trade's just coming back thick and fast and leave Arcalicious as the only man really around this angle. His boost is successful at least. Actually, the T's have somewhat stagnated a little bit. They've slowed down. I like their decision. They're going to try and fall back. What they don't realize is Snatchy's around this area. He's in the spawn.
Oh, no.
If they actually completely negate him here, I'll be impressed, because this is quite surprising.
Veggie's going to peel off the bomb site as well, but he's going to make contact with 2. Takes them both. If the Opper rounds the corner, then maybe one shot gets hammered off, but that's not the case. Although Soptic, he's crossed into the bomb site, almost past Arcalicious. Dude, you're thinking to yourself, if they leave T-spawn, Snatchy has it dead to rights. That's a wild mid-round 3v3, but it all works out for Virtus.pro in the end, and they'll be content to win another gun round.
Yeah, that was a dicey situation all the way through. Like, one more kill on that B site, the bomb goes down comfortably, and there's no way Arcalicious can do anything to deny it. They go towards spawn again. They're probably dead to Snatchy. It really could have gone any way and in any different scenarios, but it ended with VP taking another round, continuing this backwards and forwards stretch. That still leaves them in the running. Snack's gonna go aggressive, and he's successful. Chopper, who's been one of the most deadly members of this roster, is gonna be down without a fight. Young already very low on HP as well. This is looking fairly bleak for Team Spirit. Well, that's going to make it a bit better.
Shot his toes blown off. You ever clip your toenails too close to the toe? That's exactly what happens to Snacks just now. Except
I would advise not doing it with bullets. There's probably a YouTube video out there somewhere.
I'm not
Guy cuts toenails with
America. Delicious gonna play around the smokes. He did a very good job last round of something similar where he was on the opposite side of this wood on site, just playing around the T's smokes, jumping over, getting those eyes prying down. And he hopes
He's
to do the
completely
same thing
alone.
once more. Yeah. He's gonna have a little short support from Veggie, but last time Veggie was smoked off just like this. Similar situation unfolding on the B site. And these T's soften up Veggie. Oh, they get him through the smoke, but nobody's covering the bomb plant. Ocalicious activates. He's going to get peeked from so many players that it's no surprise he dies. Mihu 1v3. 15 seconds and the plant comes in, but SDY opts not to peek around the corner, so Mihu has a chance at this clutch.
Unfortunately, Sunday Young very well placed, and again, it really does seem like they learn a lot from their mistakes. Now, not covering the bomb planter, a little bit worrying. Like, Ocalicious, he's in a similar situation to last time where he manages to sneak around the side of the boxes. But more so just what they did to Veggie. Like, the pre-fire through the smoke was almost just like they knew exactly where he was going to be and at what time. And to kill him off pretty much won them the round. This fire coming out from VP, not a pretty one. An AWP for Snatchy at least, but he definitely hasn't had the game you'd want from him. One of those world beat. What? Okay. Just Sunday Young making that look a lot easier than it is. This might be the game sort of ending here. Something needs to come up for me here. He's going to re-aggress. New angle taken. He's going to predict it, but Sunday Young just hitting everything in this round. He can definitely flip a switch, and on this T side he has Veggie and Snatchy alone.
Team Spirit, yeah, they're not playing any other rounds, Tom. They're not giving away any 5v. They are going to play this to a T. I guarantee it. Veggie has the smoke though. One of the things that could actually go wrong, horribly wrong, horrifically wrong, Tom, is if he smokes off Monster, they decide to try and push through it, and he lines them all up. But nope, goes into the dry peak, and MP9 versus AK, can't say I'd suggest it. 3 frags for Sunday Young, 1 for Coldy, and Snatchy may never be found. Bomb's going to be planted with 30 seconds to spare. I like that Team Spirit, you know, even when it comes down to hitting it on the timing, they've got that excess window of opportunity. 15th for Team Spirit, undeniably now. But at least Snatchy will have that solo op as he moves into the next round. Remember, VP, they have no bonus cash, so it's 2 rounds of lost bonus. That's it. And he doesn't even keep the sniper rifle, Tom.
Yeah, this can be the real kicker when it comes to those backwards and forwards rounds, especially if you're on the CT side. Is the fact that if you end up losing those wars, you're going to run out of money. Now, you could definitely understand why they would continue in those battles. They had money at the time, but it's hit them hard. They're still going to have at least a wonderful Nova alongside the pistols, but
yeah,
we've even seen this predicted.
You know, it was supposed to be the 1 op 4 pistols, but 1 shotgun 4 pistols can't be that bad unless you peek into an op, in which case it's a little disbalanced. Deagle fires off from Mihu. That's at least some sort of a reward, and it's an upgrade into the AK. So B control taken by Virtus Pro. Can clamp down on Spirit? No, because Spirit, they eject and they head back towards spawn.
I like how in both scenarios, like in one case you said it wouldn't work and it did, and then you said it might and it didn't. I just beautiful how you managed to curse it both times.
Yeah, Tom. It's, you know, some would say I have no clue what I'm saying. Half the time it's just guessing.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
No, it's more like a third of the time.
Me, who doesn't actually opt to give that AK over to a healthier teammate, so he's going to play the bait role, sat towards the barrels as they do push through the monster. He slightly missed the peak timing.
Go back, Snacks.
Snacks. Oh, this could be it, though. Mihu, he's getting so close to just spotting out the whole team. Chopper comes around the angle, sees him, and just execution. Snacks will now look to rotate in, but at this point, there's going to be smokes down. Might just want to go for something ridiculous. That's what we love to see from Snacks. And while flashbang smokes being thrown in, he's going to try and create a path for himself. Does manage to get further onto the site, but they know exactly where he is. They will be put down. Trades at least coming in. Ocalicious needs to be the hero with that 5-7, but they already know where he is. He still manages one, and he gets a second as well. How on earth did he manage that?
He just walks out from Monster, peppers the guy directly in front of him, has the smoke of Snacks to his left, but it all comes down to that flashbang, Mr. Bismeyer. It is a business flashbang, if I've ever seen one. Drops it inside of the smoke, re-peeks on the other end. Thank God that 5-7 has so many bullets in the clip, because he just pops them one after another and gets VP a 9th round. AWP kept forward. Okalicious, with a 3-piece, is single-handedly extending this game.
Well, we were highlighting new players before the game. I spoke more about Veggie than him, but he's saved them twice now, especially on that B site. Oh, Mag 7 in Snacks' hands.
Yeah, that's why I wanted him to go
Nothing
back to
better.
the bomb site last round, was like a snack shot. Now that's a treat. Don't be shocked if Team Spirit kick this round into a whole new gear. They've got a lot of footing over towards this B side already, and Virtus.pro, they've gone for this aggressive A stack, and the gamble that might not pay off. If they lose B and don't have a convincing retake from behind, then it could very well be over before it starts, and Chopper has this entire rotation cut off, or at least he did. He leaves the base of Connector to join Team Spirit, as they'll prioritize Monster instead. And there is a second rotator, at least for VP. Snatchy's going to get himself down to the B site, playing off Graffiti with the op, but there's already T's coming into the bomb site. Now he's even flashed.
Yeah, again, the grenades just being utilized. Sotfik peeks around, but it is Okalicious to at least find one. He's still going to be in that corner. They know exactly where he is at this point, and that's why Coldie just runs around. There will still be a trade back, however, but one by one, we see multiple players fall, but it's on to Chopper. The man who was rotating in a little bit late. They've got Veggie with a kit as well, and some utility. He's got an incendiary. He could just throw this onto short and now pretty much end the round. Just going to go for that defusal, and I think Chopper hasn't got much choice but to just try and hold on to his gun.
Poor Chopper. I mean, in that situation, I was looking at the setup. I was looking at the map. We had 2 players out from party. We had 2 players already on short. And it seemed as though Spirit could have taken the B site without Chopper's assistance. He decides to leave Connector, just has a smoke grenade do his job instead. A smoke grenade, Tom, is not nearly as convincing as bullets when it comes to a hold. And because of that, you see VP slip pass into short. They're able to pinch onto the retake so quickly. And this round, they've already gotten that 5v4. Aggressive op pluck off of Fountain, and Veggie takes the place of the sniper with an M4 close smoke. He's got a player in Connector and a position on long with Mihu by his side. So this is a big pinch, and as Disbalance takes the top side of the boost, he could very well be spotted. The smoke fades, 2T's shadow seen. There's Disbalance on a silver platter, and Sotfik follows right after.
Great work coming out from Veggie in this round, and well, they've got to go back and actually retrieve the bomb as well. Flashbang going to be thrown out just as a small attempt to try and bait any sort of rotation, but it's not going to be successful. The passive hold remains, the watch towards short, but they have managed to get out a little bit further onto Monster. Maybe will have been realized. Nice shot from Som Dae-young, and he gets 2. This now makes things very interesting. He didn't take a lick of damage in that whole engagement. Bomb going to be going down, however. Incendiary won't be able to stop it. And finally, a single HP has been dropped. But look at the rotation coming out from Chopper. He's trying to hold them off from behind, but even if he fails, that will at least give him position on towards the heavens. And that's a very difficult position to clear this late into the round. Som Dae-young surviving. Chopper not going to be expected. Will be able to get 1, but the trades are enough. It comes close once again, but VP is still grinding it back.
Man, these are wild rounds. Wild rounds. The fact that they slipped that bomb in, I'm thinking to myself, this is under 26, but nope. Virtus.pro with another great clutch to keep this one going. That's back-to-back 1vx situations. Still down by 4, looking to push this into overtime, which I think already this scoreline is a win for Virtus.pro in the sense that you're playing against Spirit on a map they highly... We're seeing the grit of Virtus.pro now. We're seeing that determination in these clutch rounds. Now we're going to see what should be the easy wins. Team Spirit just pistols. They have a nice collection of utilities surrounding this buy, and they are just going to clump themselves together as a single cohort and try to push into B. First line of defense comes from Snatchy. He's got an off angle through short, and he plucks Sotfik to kick it all off. gets himself in front of the smoke, and another one close, nearly the third, but disbalanced deagles him back, and the CTs now look to swarm downwards onto the site. Og in the spine of SDY, but he doesn't give him up as a target. They're actually going to manage their way forward into the site of Okalicious. He's got a second, and now Chopper has to clutch.
He's got lots of time. This is only real benefit, and wow, in the end. I am so confused with so many things that happened in that engagement. So, you know, there's the railings that like it's difficult for people to see on. I disbalance double, like he zooms in, looks at the railings, and then double zooms in as if it's that difficult to see. Like it's almost like he just misclicked or something, but I don't know what went on. But he didn't realize for a good like 3 or 4 seconds that there was no one on those railings anymore.
Oops. Tom, is this the solution? The straight up B hit, pedal to the metal, and already pass. Wow, nobody.
Oh, come on.
Nobody checks the barrel. Tom, they go for the B hit and nobody checks the barrels, but they somehow still get themselves into a 2v2. If they had more HP to play with, I'd be a little more hopeful. But Sophic has at least swapped to the op. This is Bogdan's Law in full effect. Can he find both these members of VP? They're split currently. One deep, put into the depths of short. Veggie hides in the corner, and Mihu does the same towards Graffiti. So Sopfic's being given respect. He's being given space. And if he hits this one bullet onto the player here in Graffiti, then he had the route towards A. But Mihu, all day long, just patiently tucks himself in and gets another.
Yeah, I think just with the amount of rounds the VP have managed to grind back, Team Spirit is starting to get a bit sloppy. Like that in the early rounds, we were giving them so much credit for like all the like counters they were doing to certain positions and basically isolating different players to help win them rounds. That round, they don't check one of the most basic positions that you check within the B side. Like it should be priority number 1 that you check the barrels. So the fact that then you give Okalicious a chance to get 2 kills, he didn't need that. He was already doing fantastically without the help of the T side. As he now hits 22. But we are now going to have, once again, a push with utility. Pistols is all they can get. This time they'll clear the barrels with a Molotov. And the push through will come in onto Okalicious, and he will be overwhelmed with just 1 kill. However, Snatchy picks off another. Still, maybe this is possible. They are going to at least hunt down Snatchy and maybe look to wrap back around. Young takes a lot of damage on his rotation, and the nade will be there to finish him off. Left onto Sophic again with an AWP, and he does at least connect 1, but I don't think he's going to be finishing off this kill.
Hits the bullet through the wall. Hits the bullet through the wall, and still he can't finish it off. If only he would have had a little bit more space. 15-4. A wild situation we have here on Overpass, Mr. Bismarck. This is one of the reasons that I find watching and commentating Team Spirit games so frustrating, because it seems to happen too often for this team that they are unable to just close games. They just can't close. I've seen it all too often, man. Star Series matches, it happened at the minors. Whenever you get these ridiculous triple overtime matches, Team Spirit seem to be in the mix. But we are not there just yet. At the end of the day, it's the 1st to 16. And that's something Team Spirit can still accomplish. A 16-0 or a 16-14, a win is a win. And they're going to slowly work their way past Fountain this time. However, there's a player there. Veggie's so patient that he gets this easy kill to disbalance and a follow-up onto Sotfit. Close range headshots his, but Coldy and Chopper, damage control. Starting to swing it back, and Veggie, he gets wrecked. Coldy looking so hot as he nails the headshot and keeps Virtus Pro split in the 2v3. This would be the heartbreaking round to lose, but heartbreak makes romance that much more beautiful.
Oh, a touching sentiment, but I don't think Virtus Pro are going to care if they don't take this to overtime. Luckily, Snatchy's still doing work, waiting patiently for any sort of peek through. Doesn't manage to connect on the first, but just waits. They both cross Snatchy, but he waits for them to come back. I like it. Expects where they're going to be pushing. Will he be able to take Chopper as well? The smoke to fake him out a little bit, but back through the smoke goes Snatchy, and even just that little tick of the Molotov that will give the information away. Chopper only has 15 seconds. He has to isolate one of these jewels. Getting a bomb plant should be nigh on impossible. Then this should be overtime confirmed as the peak comes out from Oko. And that is 15-15. How on earth does this happen, Connor?
Who knows, Tom? I do know. Or at least I think I do. That's just VP making the comeback happen. Because it's the first game of the day. And, you know, we don't want it to be over too quick. A romantic 11-4 comeback, Tom. It's all off the back of Okalicious. I mean, remember that ridiculous clutch? I think it's 1v3 down on the B bomb site when he peeks out from Monster with the 5-7. That right there is what kickstarted it all. I believe Snacks comes in with the next round clutch. If it wasn't Snacks, regardless, what's important is VP put it together in those moments way too often. And then, because they've managed to win those sorts of rounds a couple of times, that's when the mistakes started for Team Spirit. That's when they don't clear barrels on their all-out B rush. It's when they can't close the game, and we find ourselves here, outside of regulation.
Well, just be a moment before we get back underway. I'm sure Team Spirit are going to relish this break, because I don't want to talk too much about, like, CIS mentality, but I do wonder if it is genuinely a thing. Like, you see the players, like, maybe get quite a bit more demoralized quite easily. Like, you look at the reactions from players like Simple whenever things go wrong. There's definite, you can definitely see it in his face. That may just be because he's not the one underperforming pretty much ever, but even still. And you can definitely see within CIS rosters, like, take the old Gambit roster, even when they, like, were a strong team. They could win a half 14-1 and then still lose 16-14. Like, I genuinely have witnessed that happen. I remember that Star Series versus Fragsters. And Fragsters are were a young Danish team. So for you to lose the mental battle versus mostly young kids is insane. But it just seemed to happen more often than not that they'd have a fantastic CT half and then they'd go onto the T side and everything would fall apart.
Just sort of what happened here, which is kind of scary. I had promise for Spirit.
Just Sophic. Everyone else, nah.
Particularly. Yeah, I thought there was gonna be promise here. I mean, we've seen Team Spirit accomplish the T sides of Overpass before, but again, I just can't get my mind around those couple of ridiculous clutches. And remember, those last two rounds of the first half are what made the 11-4 half. Before that, we could have very easily been staring at a 13-2. So, world of difference, Mr. Bismeyer. But you know what? I'm sick of talking, so I'm gonna hope that Bach has the music cued, and we're gonna throw it to some tunes before overtime begins here between Virtus.pro and Spirit. So then I tell him, Tom, I tell the guy, like, you can't pay me enough money to do that in public. Oh, we're live?
Banter.
Welcome to OT, folks. Virtus.pro Team Spirit ready to go. A ridiculous comeback. A ridiculous comeback, but I'm all for it. I'm ready for the show. It's an early Thursday morning here on the East Coast of NA. It's actually the afternoon now. Time is just a concept.
To be fair, that is actually what the guy said to you as well when he tried to pay you. He was like, I'm ready for the show.
It's going to be a slow one, though. Look at this pace. Look at Team Spirit. They are sick of losing T rounds, so they're going to throw all the tricks they have. And it all begins, as usual, with disbalance on a boost. Looking for that opening op shot. He's not given a target. Virtus.pro just tucked away.
Well, in the connector, we've exchanged Molotovs. And Mihu picking up the AWP as well. The secondary thrown in. Not something we really saw from VP, but it has allowed for Snatchy to take up presence over onto Monster instead. Look at Veggie, like Sunday Young even just peeks out going, wait, what are you doing there? Nice easy kill for him to turn it back into a 4 versus 4. Veggie's had a lot of success with that level of aggression, but these are the rounds that can sort of crunch you. The only problem is the time.
They can still pull it off if they get past Snatchy clean. That AWP is going to be on cycle between shots, and he misses the first one. Follows through with the second, but Sotvik's so... It's more of a shotgun fight than an op battle. SDY is going to have to plant bomb 4 seconds, and he comes off of it? No! He comes off of it! So the plant, it still goes down, but he has no time to get his gun back in hand. Ah, a bit of a blunder. And Virtus.pro are going to win the first round of overtime. Are they going to close this map? Are they actually going to make this happen?
See, the thing is that like, this is what I've learned both about CIS teams and about Virtus.pro. I feel like it's all about momentum. Like, we've witnessed recently Team Spirit's 16-0 team. We saw them in the first half just styling on Virtus.pro. Then Virtus.pro start bringing the plow back out, which is not even these players who had the plow in the first place, but it's been handed down from generation to generation. And now they're starting to really run away with this themselves.
Little wall spam just to give Snatchy a warning. He's going to take the front position of this B-site defense. Having seen nothing towards A, Virtus.pro start to already rotate their numbers. Disbalance and team start throwing over the flashbangs. Then the hit comes through. Following forward. Nice spray down from Okalicious. Almost gets him. The AWP connects to SDY. 4 versus 2. Bomb dropped in the process. This is just ridiculous. And Disbalance, well, he never even had a chance to get into the fray. No teammates left in this 1v4. His op hungry. But Virtus.pro already satisfied. Full bellies on Snatchy as he's gonna get plucked off. No, not even. Disbalance can't hit the shot on the player not even looking, Tom. It's all going belly up.
Snatchy should have died at about 3 different points in that round. Manages to get a 5-7 kill while he can't see anything, just hiding in the smoke. And also that shot towards the end, it just seems ridiculous. Virtus.pro, everything working in their favor. Okalicious now hits 26 kills. Veggie started very slow. He's almost in double digits as well. And while it seems like this has become just a brute force attempt at B every single round, a push straight through, Okalicious left blind, Someday Young still fighting to take this for his team. Molotov's going to be doubled up onto short, the flames thickened.
Wow.
But even still, Chopper's going to get dunked. Sophic does manage to trade things back though, but one by one it just goes into these 3v3 situations. Sophic still holding, Snatchy peaks, can't win that duel. Snacks is waiting. It looks like he's going to go back for more as well.
Yeah, Sophic was ready for the one player, but I don't know about the next. And imagine if bomb had been planted in all of this. Even if the player dies after the fact, I mean, we'd have Spirit sitting so much more comfortably. The Virtus.pro just going to start trudging through monsters. Snack's not ready for that fight, and me with eyes from above. Still not working on the retake. Spirit are gonna have to get this bomb down eventually, and it's in their movements that Mihu looks to punish. He's looking for that gap, that error, but he turns his back instead, and if he's just going for the save, then this one's over. It's OT, he's gotta just close it out. And unfortunately, Tom, he chose the wrong way to look at the worst possible moment. Pop flash down, doesn't see SDY on ramp, and Spirit will be able to close at least 1 T round in overtime. It's been a long time since we've seen them with some T-side success, but at least they have that one.
Yeah, I think it was a big deal that they managed to get there. And again, a lot of it comes back off of just Someday just brute force entry fragging. Like, he really hasn't slowed down. The rest of the team have had their issues, but going into that B site, he has been one of the only players to actually have any success. I think Disbalance has severely slowed down on this T side, but I feel like as one of the players I see is pretty much an out-and-out AWPer. I don't really remember too many times him being successful with the rifle. They were really trying to get that AWP into his hands. going back onto the CT side, I think is going to be a pretty big deal for him. I think this is where they could still turn this around. Bear in mind, they were 11-2 up at one point on their CT side and let the last 2 rounds slip. So it is possible that they just win out from here.
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, that's the burden of the beast when it comes to Spirit. You know, I tried to paint that picture earlier where it's like these guys, they find themselves in so many overtimes that they at least have, that's what we talk about when it comes to like teams with experience or whatnot. But these guys in the back of their heads, they have so many memories of being in similar situations. And that's not just here in an online environment. The pressure maybe seems a little off. We're talking heat of the moment lands. They're there, and they do still manage to close games at times. So it's anybody's to take. CT side's where we saw the most convincing stuff, and it could very well happen again. Wouldn't be shocked. Wouldn't be shocked at all. I'd be more shocked, in fact, if Virtus Pro are able to just win, you know, 3 T rounds smoothly. They'd only need 2, but you get the...
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think if they just wipe this down, then it would almost just show the mental state of Team Spirit after not closing out the game. I think that would be the only way that they manage to do it. Either that, or if Oculicious or Veggie are now just in the mood. Because I think in the first half, I can't remember exactly, but I think Veggie was something like 1-11 for like a while. Like he started to come back a little bit towards the end of the half, but like the vast majority of it, he didn't get anything done at all. Now he's had that CT half to sort of build confidence, like maybe just check his aim a little bit. Like after having the first official of the day, sure, he's almost definitely practiced to go into the MDL matches, but just as that first game, it can catch you off a little bit, especially starting on the T side. If he now just starts popping heads and taking names, then yeah, there's a chance, but I just don't see them being able to crack open B, like wreck Chopper as easily as they were in the second half, because I think that's one of the things I really want to point out is there was a battle between Snacks and Chopper in Connector almost every round, and Chopper didn't win it very often. Like, you remember how well he was doing in the first half. He's now on 22 kills. Like, Sumda Young has absolutely wiped the floor with him since then.
It's time to get back into the action. Second half of overtime coming at you hot. Team Spirit, well, they're looking for that flawless 19. AWP set up early towards Party, misses the mark. 3 Ts from Virtus Pro going to work their way through playgrounds, and they'll find no further resistance until they get much closer to the bomb site. Counter Terrorists just giving up everything in terms of long, hoping to set up shop in bathrooms and lock it down from there. But the VP circumvent all of this by just continuing down long, because there is that open chance. Disbalance now understands with timing that he's got to check this. He has to get eyes on long. Woo! And a bullet just zings by his head as he hops.
Oh, and actually, we're going to see 2 openings at once. Snacks lurking in the back lines, and then just to pick through the edge of the smoke is going to be enough to find 2 opening picks for Virtus Pro. And on players that were pretty crucial, at least I Disbalance for sure over on that CT side, able to really hold on to A. He'll leave Sumda Young alone, and I can't really remember too many clutch plays from him, at least in the CT half. He was big on the T side, but holding back on this side of the map hasn't really gone his way. Smoke's now going to rain in, and well, he just started to double back away from the site. Could be left out of position, looks to peek back in, does some damage, but not anything really worth mentioning. And Mihu holding the angle would do enough to close him down. CT side, well, there's not really any point saving.
Nope, none at all. It's bye to the end, baby. They are going to pick up 1, the hyper extension from Snacks down through the base of B. Gets nothing for it. I'm actually really surprised this round that Disbalance ends up dying to the AWP player on long. You'd think when he jumps up behind the van and almost has a bullet hit his head that he wouldn't be as confident to go in for just a dry peek, but as he peeks around the corner of long, 3 players ready, op included. I mean, that was one of first 2 kills, those 2 simultaneous frags that got Virtus Pro a 5 versus 3 that they then closed the round with a 3v0. So those 2 kills make all the difference. Freebies. And speaking of 2 kills, well, there's only 2 rounds left, and Spirit need both to get us into double OT. 2 kills, 2 rounds, 2 overtimes. Tom, I'm seeing a trend here. but I just don't know how real it's going to be. Virtus Pro, they're looking primed to make this happen, and if I'm not wrong, this would be their first official win on Overpass as a lineup.
Well, it would be a pretty good style to do it in as well. Coming back from a massive deficit, 11-2. Well, it was 11-2 originally, but yeah, they did got 11-4 in the end in the half.
God,
even still,
even better.
That is going to be the start, at least for the CT side. Balance won't be taken down early on, and that was a lot of the things for both sides. I feel like opening picks played a massive part, unless, of course, we just had a run in towards the site. But Corda, I hate that position when you don't have the support of an AWP. I hate it.
There's an Opera back there, but Disbalance just not watching the boost. So Mihu gets over the boost instead of rounding the corner. Had he just walked instead of hopping, then he would be a dead man. Could still make a play. Whoa, inside of the smokes, the T's just charged right in. Disbalance, and Sotvic never saw it coming. And Chopper's gonna have to get himself a clutch. We saw some miraculous plays from the T's. VP made it happen last half, but Chopper just gave them a second breath. Snatchy could have just been blindsided. Snacks would have had to close this on his own. Now that AWP is picked off. A second chance for Chopper as he gets 2 bullets into Snatchy, both times with him never seeing it coming. Snacks plays behind Optimus Prime, and Chopper doesn't know if he's gotten off to mid. He's got to clear so many positions, and he has so little time, but he puts the smoke on bomb. He has the kit, but didn't tap it, jumps on, hopes, and holds on as he goes in for the peek, sees Snacks' shadow, he takes the high road, and he's being danced with. Chopper with the kill. Chopper with the clutch, and Team Spirit push this to the last round of overtime.
Jesus, that was close. So many times that Chopper could have just made that very easy for himself if he manages to kill the first player with the initial shots, but he gets the clutch nonetheless, and that's all that matters. 18-17, a chance for double overtime, and, well, VP could be the ones now feeling flustered because they've had the chance to close this out.
It's not a Spirit overtime game until it goes to double OT. That's the thing. I'm not a stats man, but I'm sure if you pulled up the Spirit match page on HLTV, if they do track overtimes in games, I bet you it's off the charts. I bet you it's on a chart of its own.
Well, CT side initially very passive, but just look at the peak coming out from Chopper. He's managed to cross towards the sandbags. His position can sometimes be quite a one and done, but it's much more eccentric in terms of the T side play. Snacks is just a lurker, and again, it's going to be the pick onto Disbalance. Young has to just try and throw out utility, a risky peek. Maybe trying to use the smoke as a bit of a fake out. Rotation going to come in, but Oculicious just runs straight through it. Not expecting that. And now they need some trades back. Sotvic gets 2 big kills that could turn the round. The flank comes in as well from Chopper, and Cody just makes a move right in. It's now left on to Snatchy. Luckily, the time isn't too far gone. He's got 30 seconds to play with. Tries to use the smoke. Knows roughly where Cody is, but he has no idea where Chopper currently sits. Waiting for it, spots out the man jumping. Chopper just rounds the corner, and it will be Cody to even steal it away. What a ridiculous round.
It's not a Spirit matchup if it doesn't go double OT, man. What a wild one. I have to say, Spirit, even though they close out that third round, Disbalance on that A site, Tom, was just nullified in this overtime. I mean, he dies first with no impact, pretty much, all 3 rounds of the CT side. Think about it. Gets picked the first time as he goes into that 3 long setup. Second round, they push through smoke into his face, so close up gets overwhelmed. And then this round as well just gets obliterated by Snatchy. So that AWP presence on the A site was non-existent versus Virtus Pro in overtime, and yet they still just couldn't close the rounds. It was very clearly their target each and every time, but they couldn't manage it through and through. I'm very curious to see if they continue with the A plays as they're still stuck on this T side OT. But wow, look at the presence. Team Spirit so close to playground already. And it's only one player, Snatchy, who's been grabbed already. He's down. And with Chopper having his eyes set above the connector, Snacks could follow suit as Sotfik single-handedly tries to shut down Monster, but he's only good for one. And now this movement inside connector's been heard. Snacks is ready for it. Look at his position. He's gotten himself up here alone. How's he done that?
Oh my god. 2 players back to back we've just watched die from not expecting anything more, and Kalicious, he now needs to be the king of the Koch again. They do line up, but I disbalance. If he doesn't hit that shot, I believe both of them die.
Could very be. Yeah. That's another turning point. Another turning point in these OT rounds. Everyone counts. And Team Spirit extend the success of the CT side. It's not where we've had our questions. It's not where we've seen them fumble. It's once they swap back over to the offense. But a double op coming out of Virtus Pro here in their second round of the second overtime of the first map of week 4 here at Esea.
Oh, aggression once again from Sumdai Young, but it'll be met with an HE and decides just to fall back. I don't know if you're witnessing this. When the grenade goes off, are you still hearing it bounce afterwards?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
And I could see the trail of it as well.
I think maybe that has something to do with the new grenade update. I mean, they did just redo them, right? I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Gotta smooth out some bugs.
I think it's only if the grenade doesn't land. If it blows up in the air, I think it then bounces afterwards, which is really weird and really off-putting. Luckily, we have players like iDisbounce who he ain't got no need for nades. He's just hitting his shots with the AWP, a change from what we saw previously. He will put down Okalicious. The double orb's still in as well for the T side. They tried this previously when things weren't working. Sumdai Young ready and waiting, but Mihu predicts the angle, and again he seems to be very effective at getting those trades back when they needed it. We saw it in a previous OT round as well with the jump over onto long and finding them that 4v4. Not been up with the highlight kills most of the time, but just the impact ones. This time though, I don't think there's much he can do in terms of turning this back. Already a 2 versus 4, 20 seconds up and coming on the clock with a bomb down in connector. Good luck, VP.
I like that we have a bit of a clip coming out of Disbalance now this overtime, and it's in my mind because he's not playing as passively back on the A site. He's not hiding behind APC and waiting for executes. No, he was given much more space to play with in that last round. We saw him posted on the flower planter long A, gets that first pick. He's curious and able enough to go into the bathrooms, play that close range op, and retreat without losing his life. So beautiful stuff from iDisbalance, changing things up on the A site, forcing Virtus Pro's footwork elsewhere, and we all see it come to a grinding halt down towards short. Nice little 2-piece to finish last round, and Disbalance is going to post up in the same position he was last round. With SDY as the first set of eyes on mid, he's met with Smoke and VP take their time to show some presence. They are going to challenge iDisbalance off of long. They try to position Snatchy for that first pick, but now the flash comes out, and it's going to cost SDY. Disbalance still looms near, but does he stick around or retreat? On his fallback, Snacks has the cover. He's got the cross. If Disbalance steps back, he's done for.
Yeah, the thing Snacks doesn't know as well is there's actually no one else on this site. Sotfik will finally make his presence known, but look how late he is. They're waiting for that rotation. And while iDisbalance, there's nothing he can do. VP have picked them apart. Coldy will at least manage one. The second as well, and actually Chopper's found another. It's just swinging back into their favor. He spots the run back from Mihu, and Chopper's fed the information. It's now left all onto Snatchy, and it seems like Chopper knows exactly where he is. What is this? What is going on? Team Spirit, they take all 3 CT rounds.
Diamonds, Tom. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and I feel like that's what Spirit have to be. A 2 versus 5, if I'm not mistaken there. 2 kills and 3 kills apiece for the remaining members of Virtus Pro. that connector to A play was the key piece. And I mean, cutting off Snatchy as well at the very end, not giving him that chance to clutch the off. The bomb was planted for him, but it just doesn't happen. So a flawless CT side coming out of Team Spirit. They have given Virtus.pro a non-existent margin of error. One round is all it's going to take. And we may have questioned Team Spirit's T-side in regulation when they only won 4 rounds and they only picked up 1 in the last overtime. But here in double OT, it's going to take just a single T round to win this game. You'd think they've finally done it. Off of the back of a flawless CT half, they should be able to close.
Once again, a little bit of aggression coming out. Initially at least, but the fullback will incur. Just waiting. And you can see that they're ready for a B hit. Snacks is just watching towards the lower parts of Monster, just because we saw so many rounds where Team Spirit just ran into B, and it does look like they're about to do the same again. Sophic gets quite far out on Monster, but the Incendiary will hold him back, at least for now. Bomb also going to be retrieved, but the T's not dedicated just yet. They baited out a lot of utility. Fall back a bit. Now, we've seen them do this before and then just run back into the B site anyway, so you can see why there's a hesitation from the CT side, who are just waiting a little bit and leaving Veggie to go spot.
That's all right, though. You just take one player off. You still commit to this 4-man set. Counter-terrorist getting a little nervous here, throwing out an additional volley of grenade. Spirit with the 45-second mark on the clock are going to have to use what's left of theirs to try and get in this. But Mihu has gone to join Veggie on the A site. Veggie saw nothing. Keep that in mind. He has seen nothing towards A, and yet they opt to move that second op upwards. Now, however, it's the B hit commitment. Okalicious working around the smoke, and Snatchy hits a collateral. That's so big. Follows with another 2 kills. It is all Snatchy here in OT. Virtus.pro gonna convincingly win their first CT round. 2 more chances for Spirit.
Yeah, he's another one who has completely revolutionized his game over the last, well, half a map, I would say. He went from some like 11 to 20 being quite underwhelming on that T side in the first half, and then now sits right at the top of the board. 33 kills to his name. No one up there at the moment. Okalicious and Chopper not too far behind. There we go again. It is going to be another rush straight in towards the site. This time Sumdayung again. He gets the opener for the team and the second as well. He is their T side. There is no one else at the moment for this Spirit lineup. He's even going to spot out the third. He's looking to win it single-handedly. I said there was no one up there. He now hits 32, but quickly a couple of kills come back. Veggie with 2 successful grenades. Got to try and force their way back in, and it's Sophic to put another one on the death pile. Mihu pushing into the 1 versus 2, but the bomb starts to tick, and he needs to find me. He gets the kill. How? No. While jumping down, it's onto him versus iDisbalance. The flashbang going in. Shots initially missed, but the clock, it's going fast now. He needs this kill in the next couple of seconds, or it is all over, and iDisbalance absolutely plays him. What a ridiculous round. But again, it is Team Spirit. They finally close out what they started.
Wow, man. What a just wild way to put an end to this one, man. What a sick game of Overpass. We had some crazy highlights from both sides. We had crazy clutch rounds. Okalicious making it all happen with that 1v3-5-7 play on the B side. I feel like that's when it all started. That's when the party started, Tom. And that party just kept going to the wee hours of the night. But it's not the wee hours of the night because we still have so much more action here at ESEA. It's a shame Virtus.pro couldn't close what would have been their first Overpass win. It's wild to me that Team Spirit comes off of a 16-0 victory versus Fours earlier this week, only to barely close this one. But that's Team Spirit. It's an issue of inconsistency, and that's what we saw here today.
Well, either way, we do have ourselves, I'm going to say 1.5 matches as the other game has already begun. We should be jumping into AGO versus Chaos fairly soon, so make sure you don't go anywhere.